Hello everyone! So, quick little tips video today, but before that gets started, subscribe to this channel and click the ding-a-ling and make her a bling bling. So, quick little tips video. First, it's summertime, so need a good Liney's summer shandy. That leads into this tip for summer. The biggest tip I can give you, and that is to fish shade. So, in summertime, everyone says bass go out deep, you gotta fish deep, offshore structure. Yeah, you can, all that stuff. Some bass do go out deep. There is always bass shallow. And if you guys know my channel, you know I'm a shallow water guy. That's just the way I like to fish. I like flipping, I like top water, I like cranking, chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, you know, all that shallower cover. I usually always fish 10 feet or less for largies. Smallies, a little bit different. And, you know, I've gotten better over the years fishing deeper, but this all just stems from how I started. I started just fishing ponds and fished them forever. I mean, I always liked just fishing shallow, heavy cover and all that. So in summertime, you can still fish shallow. So shade can be anything. It can be trees on the bank, casting shade into the water. It can be docks. It can be laydowns. It can be mats of grass or anything like that. Really anything. It could be just something random making a shade line. It does not matter what necessarily the shade is. Now, why is this so important? People think, oh, because it's cooler there and the bad. Not really, okay? In the summertime, lots of bright sunny days, warm days, sun is hot, it's bright, obviously. The fish actually aren't, it's not that they're hot or whatever. Bass can stand extreme temperatures of water, okay? It's not really cold water is what really slows them down. Summertime, when the water gets really hot, I mean, if we're talking in the freaking 90s, then yeah, it can affect those fish in that same way. But anything under than that, they're fine, alright? Trust me. So it's not that they're in the shade staying cool. The way that a bass's eyes work is actually they see better in low light conditions. Okay, so when that sun is beating down on that water and shining in the water and it's bright under there, they can't see near as good as they can when they're tucked into shade, into the grass, under the docks, in those shady trees, those shady areas where the sun's just not beating down on them. That's why they love that stuff. They can see further, they can see better, they can ambush their prey. Shade is actually really good for the bass as a predatory sense. They use that shade to be able to see really well and be able to hunt down their prey really well. So now let's talk about where those fish are going to be positioned. Obviously sunrise is in the east, so sun's coming out in the east. The west side is going to have the shade, like from the docks. Fish that east bank if there's trees standing over it. Obviously that whole bank is going to be covered with the shade from the trees because the sun's behind them. Great areas. Just follow kind of the sun. It's really a great tip that you can follow like all day long. Okay, if the sun rises in the east, fish that east bank. If there's trees standing up on it or whatever it is, fish that east bank. A great thing is like docks that come out on that east bank. The end of that dock is gonna be all shaded. You can fish out there. There'll be a bunch of fish in that deeper water at that end of that dock in that shade. It can be a great way to just get a bunch of fish real early in the morning and stuff. So yeah, just following the shade all day. Obviously as the sun gets higher and it's up over your head, where are they going to be? They're going to be right under that stuff. Those bank trees don't really matter so much anymore. Obviously that shade has gone away, but under docks, under laydowns that are out over the water, whatever's kind of out over the water, into the water, obviously the fish are going to be right under that stuff. So that's great to learn how to flip and get under those docks and lay downs and make precision casts into that shade. So east bank in the morning, once the sun gets up, fish are going to be tight right under that stuff in that shaded cover. And then obviously later in the afternoon, sun starts setting in the west, so west bank can be great. Now the shade's going to be on the west side of that dock, or those docks or laydowns or whatever. It's going to now be shifted to the west side. That's going to move those fish kind of out to that side more into that shade. Kind of a little easier to get them once they're on the sides of the docks, obviously, especially if you're not really good at flipping and getting and skipping under docks and things like that. But even if you are, sometimes it's a lot easier to get them once it's on one side. It just is positioning the fish for you, which is great. It makes it super simple, really easy concept. So really, that's just a simple, easy tip for you to catch you more fish, better fish in the summertime, and it's something that I pretty much follow all day in the summer. It's my go-to thing. Works no matter how deep the water is. If there's shade that is over 20 feet of water, then yeah, heck yeah, it doesn't really matter, but it can keep you, instead of focusing more on the deeper water or like the water depth of the fish, think of the shade, and it'll really help you. People are always wondering how I can catch fish in like 2 feet of water or less sometimes in the middle of summer when the water is almost 80 and the days are freaking 100 degrees and stuff like that. That's really it. Heavy cover, heavy shade. Grass mats are great. I wish we had more of them here in Colorado. There's very few places to be able to punch mats, but when I can, ooh, I love that. That's great. Use your eyeballs. That's pretty much the big thing. See the shade. It makes it super simple for you. Casting that stuff. Catch more fish. Just a quick tip, and I'll see you guys on the next one.